from 2022 alone, 98 Nigerians have died in mob actions, in hate-related actions that we have called Afrophobia, because we found that the preponderant victims of this ugly situation are Africans.
Nigeria and South Africa have a shared responsibility to respond to these challenges within the African continent of migration. Across the continent, migration remains a huge challenge that all of us have to work together to address. The two countries will have to engage in a robust manner, but it must be measured. The public rhetoric must be de-escalated to enable us to zoom into the challenges. And in this regard, there is an early warning mechanism that the two countries are at an advanced stage of negotiating, which will enable us to deal with the early warning signs of the reoccurrence of this protest and the violence in particular. What I can state is that in terms of South African law, anyone who has their properties or who has their assets, there is a legal way for them to claim whatever property that might have been taken by anyone. So the procedures and the processes in the South African legal system enable such a process to unfold. But there was no discussion now, and there's no agreement. But if there is any Nigerian national who has a property, the property is in their name, it remains in their name until it has been legally and officially transferred to any other person.
Good day and welcome to Top Accolade News. The South African government has denied reports that it has reached any compensation agreement over recent xenophobic attacks involving foreign nationals, including Nigerians. Officials say no settlement has been concluded and that the legal process remains open for affected victims seeking justice. The statement comes amid growing concern across Africa following reports of attacks on foreign nationals in parts of South Africa. The incident sparked outrage from several African countries, with many calling for stronger protection for migrants, workers, and business owners living in South Africa. Reports had circulated suggesting that authorities were preparing a compensation package for some victims. However, South African officials have now moved to clarify the situation. According to the government, no compensation agreement has been signed, and any claims related to the attacks must follow established legal procedures. Government representatives emphasized that South Africa remains committed to the rule of law and that victims retain the right to pursue their cases through the courts or other authorized legal channels. Officials stressed that the matter is still subject to ongoing investigations and judicial processes, making it inaccurate to suggest that a final compensation arrangement has already been reached. The government also stated that each case must be assessed individually based on available evidence, the outcome of investigations, and applicable South African laws. The issue has attracted significant attention in Nigeria, where concerns have been raised about the safety and welfare of Nigerians living and doing business in South Africa. Nigerian officials have repeatedly condemned xenophobic violence and called for thorough investigations into attacks targeting foreign nationals. Civil society groups are urging both governments to maintain diplomatic engagement while ensuring that victims receive protection, fair treatment, and access to justice. Many Nigerians affected by previous attacks have continued to seek accountability for lost businesses, destroyed property injuries, and other damages. Analysts say the controversy highlights the broader challenge of xenophobia and migration tensions within Africa. South Africa hosts millions of migrants from across the continent, many of whom contribute to sectors such as trade, transportation, construction, hospitality, and small-scale commerce. However, periodic outbreaks of anti-foreigner violence have strained relations between South Africa and other African nations, leading to diplomatic protests and calls for stronger regional cooperation. Experts warn that unresolved tensions could undermine efforts to promote African unity, free movement, and economic integration under continental agreements such as the African Continental Free Trade Area. Legal experts note that the government's statement does not prevent victims from seeking compensation. Instead, it means that compensation, if eventually awarded, would likely come through court judgments, negotiated settlements approved through legal channels, insurance claims, or other lawful mechanisms rather than through a publicly announced blanket agreement. The emphasis on an open legal process suggests that affected individuals may still file claims, present evidence, and pursue remedies under South African law. Reactions to the announcement have been mixed. Some observers say the clarification is necessary to prevent misinformation and unrealistic expectations among victims. Others argue that governments must do more than issue statements and should take concrete steps to prevent future xenophobic attacks, improve community relations, and provide support for affected families and businesses. Human rights organizations continue to call for swift prosecution of perpetrators and stronger measures to protect foreign nationals residing in South Africa. South Africa says no compensation agreement has been reached over xenophobic attacks. Authorities insist that the legal process remains open for affected victims. Investigations and judicial proceedings are still ongoing. Victims may continue to pursue claims through lawful channels. The development has renewed debate about xenophobia, migrant protection, and African regional cooperation. We will continue to monitor reactions from both South Africa and Nigeria as the situation develops. For more updates on African affairs, diplomacy, and breaking news, stay tuned to Top Accolade News.